Welcome to the 5-Minute Salute. I'm your host, Chris Budihas, and joined here in the studio, I have Will Lehrschall with the Salty Seabag. Will, how are you doing?
I'm good, Chris.
Good
how
to
are
see
you
you,
doing?
man.
Good
Hey,
to
thanks
see
for your
you.
service. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
No. So where are you from?
So I was originally born in North Carolina, raised in Miami, Florida.
Wow.
Until I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I haven't lived there since.
Yeah, and so you took a little trip through the Marine Corps. Did a whole career too, right?
A little bit of a journey. 21 years.
Wow.
From Okinawa, California, New York, Florida. Bounced around quite a bit.
And offset, we were talking, you're into your career, you were a career recruiter with the Marine Corps, so how was that?
That was an interesting career. Very rewarding.
Very rewarding.
Especially towards the end, getting to work with the recruits in Parris Island was exceptional, but very challenging. Yeah. Exceptionally challenging job.
And you recently retired here, in the last 3 years, right?
Yeah, 3 years ago, this month, actually.
And so before we get into these Salty Seabag, your company, what was your journey? What did that look? Leaving uniform. What did you do? You didn't create the company. What else were you doing in between?
So there was definitely a big journey. Yeah. There was a lot of spiritual growth.
Okay.
A lot of personal growth. Some shamanic plant medicine was involved in that. A lot of identity searching. Yeah. Right. You joined the Marine Corps at 18 years old as a young man. And 21 years later, you retire, your beard starts growing gray, and you're like, who is this guy I'm looking at every morning? Who is that guy?
And you told me offset you lost 80 pounds.
Yeah, it was a very
And you were a Marine, so it wasn't like you were overweight or anything like that.
I was right on my line. Yeah. I can't lie, I was right on my line.
Yeah.
But I lost a lot of weight unintentionally. It was just a very challenging journey for me, trying to reconnect with society and with myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the creation of the Salty Seabag, your company, what is the company and how long's it been around? Tell us more about the company.
So when we first launched, it wasn't all that long ago, I was at a trade show the day that we launched, and I was waiting for someone to say, how long you guys been in business? And I was going to say, we're relatively new.
Yeah.
And I was hoping someone would say, relative to what? And I was going to say, breakfast. No one ever asked, so I have to give the pitch myself.
Yeah.
But no, we're a relatively new company, and we, that's it.
So what is the business and what do you provide? Is it a service or a product?
So it's kind of both, and that's the intention. Being new, it's kind of hard to, have all the pieces that we want to put together, right? But we're strategically building out specific sides of the business.
Yeah.
And one of them is education.
Okay.
Right. Really, what do you do when the lights go out?
Yeah.
What should someone do? Whether it's bug out, bug in.
Yeah.
What type of equipment do you need? Do you know how to use that equipment?
Right.
And then if you don't, let's teach you.
Yeah.
Right. So we're trying to build strategic partnerships with a couple of companies and entities that will offer some of that training. And then we're also designing our own specific gear to facilitate those needs, right? Whether it's just for an individual, whether it's for a larger family, but strategic gear that will fulfill those needs when the lights go out, whether that's from nature's fury or civil unrest. It could be either, and we just want people to have a picture, at least an understanding of what they want to do.
It's funny, we live down here in Florida, so we have our share of natural disasters and folks it's interesting, right? Like, Lowe's and Home Depot get cleared out last minute, but people, it's like, wow, unlike, other parts of the country, there's tornadoes down here too, but like I lived in Kansas, like tornadoes are just what happens there. And the fact that people like, hey, you may not have 2 to 3 days that we get prepared. So are you ready in case of emergency? And I'm not necessarily talking about the zombie apocalypse, but things can happen. And are you prepared to take care of yourself and your family? That's kind of huge, and you're kind of getting that market segment.
Absolutely. I tell people that preparedness is an individual responsibility.
Yes.
Right? And preparedness doesn't happen after the event. Yeah. Right? You can't be prepared after. You have to be prepared before. And that's just absolutely vital to just subsisting.
Yeah, it's funny. I've seen that with some natural disaster events that I participated in, and it's folks are, hey, unfortunately they take it for granted that, hey, the government's going to take care of me. Well, it's going to take the government a little while to get there, by the way. So you might want to think about this ahead of time.
Yeah.
And having a little bit of extra stuff on hand is not a bad thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So where's the company going? Are you in the growth stage right now, or it sounds like you're working on partnerships?
Yeah, so we're definitely in our growth stage.
Okay.
Very young. It's a team of Marines.
Yep. So you need to get in quality.
We're only getting quality.
Yeah.
That's the intent.
Awesome.
Obviously we'll bring other people on as we get to those points, but right now it's just a team of Marines with a drive to grow and provide knowledge and stability and security for our people, the American people. When I retired, I struggled with purpose and identity, right? Mm-hmm. And the driving force is the company allows me to, and my team, to still give back.
Right.
We can still continue to serve, even though I can't do it in the cloth.
Yep.
In that digi pattern, it's a different capacity, and it's still contributing.
That's awesome.
And we find that rewarding.
So for the audience, we have people across the nation. How do they find your company?
SaltySeabag.com will get you there.
Just that easy, huh?
It's not that easy.
Well, Will, thanks for coming in. Thanks for your service to the nation. We appreciate what you've done and what you're doing now for our communities.
Thanks, Chris. You too.
Yeah, thanks
appreciate
a lot.
You.
Hey, folks, follow us on the Daily News Network. We'll post all our links. If you like what you hear, share us, and then we'll see you on our next segment.
Operation Barnabas is a veterans ministry, started in 2017 with the purpose of helping our veterans that kind of got left behind, and they've struggled with addictions, PTSD, suicidal thoughts, those kind of things, helping them get whole again through one-to-one mentorship.
Being able to communicate with them and help them can drastically change their life, can drastically change a family's life. The little that we can do is put our hand out and say, hey, do you want a hand up?